Saying welcome back to some more Rust tutorials on how to do things in Rust. All right, hey, if you've already watched my other video on how to set up a good sorting system, now we're actually going to go in depth on what to do next. Now that we've got it sorted, let's do something with it. All right, so here we're going to, first thing we're probably going to do is set up an actual automatic smelting system. So what this will do is this will actually smelt all your ore that you get and send it back and put it back into your sorting system. All right, so for that, I got some things coming in here. So we have these are our furnaces. So these are electric ones, and these are the regular small furnaces. All right, then from there, okay, so what we're going to do is we're going to actually have a couple boxes. So let's go ahead and do that. Let's craft that. All right. So we're going to put a couple boxes down. Let's get a couple storage adapters on them. All right, and we're going to need a conveyor. Okay, so we got a conveyor. All right, so around over here, we have our resource boxes. This is our resource box. So this will have all of our resources that we get while we're out doing things. We want to turn that into actual products. So you have one output here. So what we'll do is we'll have a industrial combiner. All right, we're not going to be combining anything here just yet, but we are going to be taking stuff out of this box here, because if we have ore in here, we want to get that smelted, and we want to get that smelted through this process over here. Okay, so with that in mind, what we can do is we can set up a splitter for this output. All right, and we'll just put it here on the floor, be fine. And you could put this actually anywhere, or hey, let's go ahead and just see if we can just stick it over here, be fine. All right, so we'll just stick it there. All right, and then from there, we're going to grab this, go up, and then we'll bring it all the way over here. Is it going to reach? Yes, it will. Excellent. Okay. So now we're going to be splitting that output there into where we need to go from here. So remember, always leave number 1 out for expansion. Okay, so number 2 is going to go to the input of this, and we're going to set our filters to, this will be wood. Okay. We want to set we need metal, so metal ore. Then we'll need high quality metal ore and sulfur ore. And then we can hit apply. Now what we can do, so we don't fill up these boxes with too much stuff, okay, is on the filter, all right, we can set the maximum amount of wood that we want to keep in this box. Okay, so let's say, how about 10,000 wood, okay? And then we'll hit apply. So what it'll do is it'll actually fill up these boxes till it has at least 10,000 wood in it, all right? So with the output of that, goes to the input of here, and then Then from there, we might want to expand this in case we have more wood or more, but we will wait until on that. We probably don't. We're just going to use one single box for now. Okay, so from there, what we're going to do is we're going to feed that into these furnaces over here. And for each furnace, we're going to need an adapter. We're going to need a bunch of splitters. Okay, so let's go ahead and set those up. All right, so we'll have let's see, we get a splitter here. We'll get a splitter here. And then we'll get a splitter here. Right. And you can continue this to a much larger scale. All right, and we're going to need another conveyor. Okay, so we'll go ahead and get another conveyor out. Excuse me. All right, so we want to take the output of this ore and wood box to the input here. Okay, and then from there, we'll go to the input of this splitter. All right, and then from the output 1 to the next splitter. Okay, output 1 to the next splitter. All right, and let me go ahead and pick these other items up here. Okay. Tire tool back. All right, so then what we'll do is we're going to put the output, number 2, to the input here. Output 2, input here. Okay. Output 2, input here. Output 2, input on the furnace. Okay. Output 2, input on the furnace. Output 2, 3, input in the furnace. I think I've been saying output 2. Anyways, get the point. Output 3, so on and so forth. And what this does is this allows you to extend or make it farther along. Okay. All right. So, and then on this filter, okay, what we do is we'll actually set up. I'm going to set up. Let's see. We need wood. Okay. So we'll grab wood. All right, and then we're going to grab ore. There's metal ore right there. There's some sulfur and high quality. All right. So then on the max output, we're going to only go to what, 12. Okay. We'll do that for each one of these. 12, 12, and 12. Then we'll hit apply. And what that's going to do is, since wood can't go in here, ores are going to go just in here, but it's only going to put 12. Same way with this one here, and so on. And then this here, we'll put 12 wood, and then it'll put ores too. That 12 works really good, and you don't have a lot of ore in one particular furnace trying to be waiting to be smelted, because it'll actually process a lot faster if you're putting smaller amounts into the furnaces. All right, so now that we have that, the input's done. Now we need to get the outputs done. Okay, so the outputs are going to work the same way. Okay, so we have we'll need a combiner there, a combiner there, and finally a combiner here. Okay, again, outputs are going to be the same way. So we are going to put up another conveyor, all right? So the output of this go to the input of that conveyor. All right, the number 1 output of this goes to number 1, which is right here. Output of this goes to the number 1. Okay, and then you continue that as far as however many furnaces you're using. All right, so then the output of this, all right, go up and go all the way over here. and go to the input of 3. So this is putting it back into our input and output box. Okay. All right. So we have a output of this furnace goes to the, doesn't matter which one. Number 2 is fine. Okay. We go output here to number 3. Okay. Output here. Number 2. Output to number 3. Output number 2. Output to number 3. Now, if you want, you can make this all nice and fancy and make it look a little bit better so it doesn't look so clustered. Hey, chaos looks kind of cool. At least that's my opinion. All right. So then on here, well, on this conveyor, we're going to set a new filter. All right. So we want charcoal. All right. And we're going to want the frags, metal frags. All right. We're going to want high quality metal and sulfur. All right. So we're going to hit apply. So what this will do is this will actually just pull, every time there's some of that available, it'll automatically pull that out. All right. So now we need to power all this up. Okay, so from our ending chain, which was way over here, okay, pass through. All right, we go up. Let me change colors. There we go. All right, our pass through. Go back all the way over here. And to the input. All right, we want the pass through to the input, pass through to the input. Okay, and we can actually turn on all these on. All right, so now we need to power up these furnaces here. All right, so here I have power coming in as a solar panel. Okay, there's 20 power available. Okay. So from there, see, let's go red. We're going to want we're going to need 2 electrical branches. We're also going to need a blocker, a splitter, and an A and B switch. Okay. And here I'll explain this as I go along. Okay, so from this splitter, all right, we're going to want to configure this. Right, is it this one? Yeah. Okay. All right, so this is going to be an output of 12. Okay. So the output of this 12. Yeah, we can leave it red for now. Actually, now we'll change colors. Let's go, here we go, blue. All right, so this 12 here. It doesn't matter which side you go on here. It's either A or B, it's fine, doesn't matter here. All right, so then the output of this, all right. And let's change colors. Let's go orange. Okay, so go orange all the way over to here. Right, and then from each one of these on a splitter, okay, you're going to go to the power of each of these furnaces. Power and power. All right, so then that circuit will actually work. So you can actually turn these on. There we go. We have them all working now. All right. Now, Sorry, I got my little train of thought here. All right, so now we have a small battery here. The small battery is actually what's going to be powering all these, okay? Because the solar panel is only going to work throughout the day, and then it's not going to work after that. Okay, so from the solar panel, all right, let's go to green. We have 7 left. Okay, we're going to bring that to this next here, okay? This is going to, let's see, let's go to yellow. The yellow output is going to go to the blocker there, okay? And then this should be like, 4 or 5 left over. Let's see, that's, yeah, light blue would work. Okay, then that's going to go to the input battery. So now that's, the battery's going to charge up. It's going to be out of play while this is being done. Okay, so then we're going to go from the battery, okay, to the power input of that blocker, and then from the blocker to the other A and B switch. This is an OR switch, excuse me. Okay, so what's going to happen here is while these things are operating, okay, during the night cycle, when there's no power coming in from the let's see here. There's no power going to be coming in from the solar panel. It'll automatically switch over to the battery. Well, because the battery's not being used, this battery should be pretty well charged, and you'll have roughly about 15 minutes worth of battery use while you're doing that. Okay, so you have 10 power coming out, and then powering in. So this would be, I think this is maybe 1 here. Let's see, what is that? 12, 11. Yeah, so that 10. All right, so that we need actually 1 more battery, or you can go to a medium battery, or you can do 2 small batteries. Okay, if we do 2 small batteries, which that would work just fine too. Or we can just eliminate all this. All right. Okay, if we want to just eliminate all this, let's go ahead and pick all these up. All right. So we go from the output of the battery to the input of here. Okay. Then this is my mock-up solar panel. All right, come back. And there you go. It just still does the same thing. So we're charging the battery as we're using the battery. So here we got 20 coming in, from the solar panel. We'll charge the battery up as we're actually using the battery too. So you get about during the night cycle, you get about 15 minutes or so. Now, if you didn't want this running all the time, okay, you can put in a blocker to set up a little bit more complicated setup. But hey, if you're running OR, you can have this running pretty much almost all the time. And then if not, you can always open this up and you can turn them on and off. Okay, the other thing I like to do is I like to do this. Okay, so let's set up a. We're gonna put down a little bit bigger battery. So we're gonna put down a medium this time. We'll just throw it over here. All right, and we can still use our same solar panel to actually feed this. All right. Let's grab that. Go ahead and clear that. Let's see, you need the input of that. So again, this is your basic setup right here. You know, one battery, one solar panel, and then processing, you know, all your power inputs like this. Okay, what I like to do is I like to do something a little bit different, a little bit of automation basically to it. All right, so we're gonna have that there. All right, and what we'll do is, okay, the same thing. We're going to be charging that battery just with that one solar panel, but this is not going to be utilized all the time. So here we go. We're going to have the output here. All right, and then this here will go to the blocker there. All right, let's get rid of that, and then from the output of the blocker it goes to the splitter. Okay, so then you have on these conveyors, you have what's called a filter pass and a filter fail. When a filter fail is active, it provides one power, meaning that, hey, this conveyor is not doing anything. Okay, so let's go ahead and change that to a green, and we're going to change this on the filter fail. Okay, and then this will actually go to the blocker. All right, so what this means is that in order to fire this system up, it's going to require some wood. All right. It's going to require some wood for this system to work. See, as you can tell, we've already got wood in here. All right. So instead of turning on all these furnaces at one time, what you can do is you can set up a, it's called a spark igniter or something like that. Spark ignition. Yep, there it is. Okay, let's get one of those. All right, so over here we're going to have a sparker, and it basically does that, except it's I'm creative, so it does something really weird. Let's see if I can. Maybe that helps. Yeah, there you go. All right, so let's turn these back off. Okay, let's create ourselves a button. Okay, so from the output of the button, goes to the igniter. All right. And then all you do is just push that button and it'll turn on your furnaces. Now, this should be passing, which now allows power to turn these on here. I don't have, let's see. Yeah, I have no way of getting actual ore here, so I can't actually show you how this actually would operate. But it basically operates on the same thing. Let me explain. While these are running, now we have this will allow this blocker, instead of being fail, it'll now be a filter pass. So this will activate, taking the contents of the filter of the furnaces out. This will no longer be blocking this power, okay? And then it'll actually turn on these furnaces here. All right. So let's go ahead and turn that back on. You'll see this operate. There we go. Now it's turned on. And then these here will all be turned on. There we go. Just like that. Then when you're done with all your processed materials, okay, wood, whatever, making charcoal or doing whatever you want out of this box, okay, it'll shut your furnaces off automatically for you. Okay, so we're just going to slowly get in there. It'll pretend like this is just turned off. Okay, it'll pull out everything out of there, out of these furnaces that's been processed, including these metal furnaces, and then there you go. Then it shuts it off. Okay. So this is pretty expandable. You can expand it up to however much you want. Now, what I figured out or found out is one small battery will operate. Excuse me. One small battery will operate 3 furnaces, and only 3, with no switching or anything like that involved into it. Okay. A medium battery will operate a total of 9 furnaces. Okay. A large battery, well, let's see, I think it's like 18. It'll do like 18 of these electrical furnaces. So it depends on how big you want and how much smelting capacity do you want, as to how much you can do that, how big you want to do this. But I would always use at least these small furnaces. One, you need charcoal. Got to have charcoal to create gunpowder. So you might as well go ahead and use these small furnaces and combine with the electric furnaces. It works a lot better, and you do get some charcoal out of it as you're processing your normal materials. So then we go all the way back here to our resource box, all right? And then there you go. There's our charcoal that we made. Okay. Now we can actually set, you can set this main filter here, to however much wood you want. You can do 10,000. You can do, let's see, we can do 2,000. Doesn't really matter how much wood you want to set in here. All right, so let's go ahead and take that out. Go ahead and drop this back in here. And so what it'll do is it'll actually fill this box up to 2,000. And then from there, it'll provide wood to each of these furnaces. Makes it nice. And then as long as there's still more being processed, you can. Now, if you want, you can actually split this down a little bit further if you want to. Okay, you can actually make an entire wood box and an entire ore box. That way you can have the two separated. And you don't only use the wood while you're actually smelting, okay? That can be a separate process. So if we're going to set that up, here's how we do it, all right? It's going to be just one simple little change. We're going to need, we're going to need a combiner. And we'll need another conveyor. Let's get a pipe to it. All right, we're going to clear this. Or no, I'm sorry, that's going to be maintained there. Okay, it still goes there. And then from here, we go to the output 3. Okay, to the input of this filter, or this conveyor. And this conveyor here is going to be set to the ores. For metal ore, sulfur ore, and HQN. All right, so then this filter here, we'd actually remove these here. So it's only going to pull the wood out. All right. So it's only going to pull the wood out. Okay, so then this output here will go to the input of this box. All right, and we need to put the power up, so we'll do that. We'll go to the output of this, to the input of that, and pass through back to the input, so that way it powers it up. Okay. And so now instead of doing here, this output here would go to the input of this combiner. Output here. To the input of this combiner. And then this final output would go here. All right, so now what's going to happen is that right? No, I think I might have that a little bit backwards. Yeah. Okay, I got it backwards. All right, so let me fix this. Let's pick that up. Okay, we'll drop that there. We'll undo this. And we need another conveyor. Okay, put that there and there. And then this one here is just going to be wood. Excuse me. And it's going to be 12 to be exact. Okay, turn that on. That means we can take out the wood here. Okay, this is only going to be using just the ores. So now from the output of this box goes to the input of this conveyor, because this is just going to be just wood in this box. Okay, the output of this ore box is going to be the input of this conveyor, because this is going to deal with all the ore. And then you have your combined outputs. And then from this output here goes to the splitters. Okay, so then what we'll do is have this as, a filter pass. Okay, or if the filter fails, we want to turn. Or is it filter fail? No. It's filter pass. Okay, so filter pass. All right, we want to turn that to the filter on. So let me change colors. All right, let's go with orange be good. Okay, so filter pass. All right. We want that to be the turn on. Okay. And let's do red. Fine. Filter failed. Okay. Goes to the off. Okay. So what we just did there is, while this is transferring ore, it's going to start sending wood out. Okay. Wood to be processed. Because you don't want these things to just, while they're turned on, continue burning up all your wood. So you have, a stupid amount of charcoal and no sulfur to go with it. So this will only operate if there's some materials that are actually in here. And I don't think yeah, I can't get any ore, so this works. Okay, so what this is doing to do is this is going to, you can actually literally leave, instead of this saying, this being 2,000, you can actually leave it where it actually fills up the box, and it'll actually fill the box up with wood for you. So you always have like a box of wood right here, and it'll be ready for you to be processed. And then what it's doing, the system's actually waiting for ore to come in, and when the ore gets to this box, it'll activate this conveyor, which turns on the wood, and then it'll start feeding wood to all your furnaces that require wood to be processed, along with the ore that is going to be processed. When I give it a few seconds, you can hit your button, turn on your small furnaces, and then as this starts getting more processed, it'll then turn on these electric furnaces and then finish processing the rest of your ore. Then when it's done doing all your ore, it'll shut these off and then allow the battery to be charged. Hopefully that explains it in more detail as far as how to set up an automatic smelting system. Now, I do have noticed that whenever the server restarts for the day, some of the servers have restart once a day, you will have to go in and automatically turn on all these electrical furnaces one time. And there's actually a circuit that can be set up to where this does this automatically for you anyways. So this is a fully automated smelting system. It'll process whatever ores you have. It'll go into the boxes. You have your box of wood, you'll have a box of ore. It'll get processed and then stored back into your resource system. So this will be your processed materials. All right. And that's basically how this is set up. All righty, folks. Well, I do appreciate everybody coming out and enjoying this video with me. Until next time, take care of yourselves and each other. Bye-bye for now.